of the Verona staff was the fact that the Verona players thought they might end up playing Cedar Grove both in the first round of the playoffs and on Thanksgiving. Well, they'll play on Turkey Day, that's for sure, but their contention with Roselle Park for that third playoff berth could be very close. Going into today, Roselle Park has an edge at 34.5 to 30, but depending on today's results, if Verona can win here today, they could project that at 38 points, while Roselle Park, without a couple of opponents giving them aid, could end up at 36.5 power points. Now, the two likely results to go in Roselle Park's favor could be Ridge beating Middlesex and New Providence beating Central, but they'll have to have that happen, or Mountain Lakes losing to Kinnelon. It gets a little complicated, but actually Verona's in a pretty good position to get that third seed.
All right, Steve, thank you very much.
That was Jeff Kronheit on that good stick that time on that play. That's a kid with 1,300 boards.
Yeah, Kronheim has very good SAT scores, 1,300, perhaps Princeton bound.
Well, he made a good stop that time. I tell you, he stopped him cold. There's a penalty. It's a big one, too.
Yeah, there was a personal foul tacked on at the end of the play.
Oh,
and
so it's second down now.
Well, no, it is first down as Verona is moving now, and we get a timeout, an official's timeout called. Dave Anico had his helmet taken off on the play, and let's see, he wants to come over to the sideline and have some adjustment made. So time is taken. We're going to take a look at that replay once again.
Just a good stop here, you know. He just reaches in, grabs a hold, and doesn't get his helmet. You know, he's got him by the shoulder guard, so to speak. It was a good stop.
Anico coming into the game, 595 yards, 11 touchdowns, including 4 TDs 2 weeks ago against Glen Ridge when he rushed 23 times for 185 yards. In that ball game, Glen Ridge scored 40, but Verona had 57 as the defenses rested on that afternoon. But that's the only time this year, really, that this defense has had a pause, if you will, for Verona. Their only loss was to Kinnelon by a score of 28-12, but they've recorded 2 shutouts. They've given up 1 touchdown in 2 other games, so they've been pretty solid defensively.
Evidently, there was no penalty because it's second down and 5 right now.
Yeah, but they had moved the ball after Anico was stopped on the play. Here's Cavello looking to get to the outside. Florence tries to track him down, can't do so. He finally runs out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
That was a good, well-designed play. Only thing is, they just didn't fool that corner, did they?
Well, we'll take a look at it one more time. Florence, the senior end, forcing Cavello to go way outside as he fought off a block.
He has got pretty good speed, Al Florence does, because we know Cavello has good speed.
Greg Marion has replaced Anico in the backfield as Anico is still...
Strong right formation that time, a little different set.
Cavello lofting one toward the end zone. It's tipped around and it falls incomplete. Pat Ward, the intended receiver, Theobald on the coverage. One of the reasons they moved Theobald back to safety is they've been burned by deep passes like that one. They felt that he was being wasted as a linebacker in terms of what he could bring to pass coverage. So they moved him back to a safety this week. They moved Shadaman from tackle to linebacker because he's the best hitter on the team. They felt that they needed to strengthen that linebacker spot. So a lot of defensive changes for Immaculate Conception this week, and it pays some dividends. It pays some dividends on that play with Theobald knocking the ball down in the end zone. It was a bit of a wobbler, gave him some time, but he was all over Ward. It's 4th down and 4. The Hillbillies will go for it.
Strong right formation.
Play action pass. Cavello floats one for Wallace, and Wallace, who is a very good receiver coming out of the backfield, hauls it in for a first down.
Good play, good execution, nice pass. Good stick, too. Just a little slow coming up. Coverage was there, but it was a little loose, Matt. He was in the right zone, but he was just play off his receiver a little too much. Now you give him a new set of downs.
From the 18-yard line, Anico's back on the field, rumbles down to the 10, where he's brought down by Reggie Johnson. Johnson, a sophomore.
He punishes people when he gets hit, doesn't he?
There are 3 sophomores starting defensively for Immaculate Conception, and one of them was greeted there by the junior, 6 foot, 210-pound Dave Anico, who delivers a blow, as they say.
Yeah. And he runs close to the ground. Did you notice that? He's not that small. He just runs where he's hard to get to. There he goes.
He has the first down, and he has his second touchdown.
He runs so low to the ground, he's hard to see. You don't see him till he pops through the line. When he pops through the line, by at that time, it's too late.
A 10-yard run for Anico. That makes the score 12-0 with 9:52 to go in the first half.
And upsets Mr. Finnegan.
And pleases Coach
Well, now they're going to try for
Kaplanovich.
the 2-point play to get back that extra point that they missed. Now they spread out a little bit. They got trips to the right.
Cavello had some backside pressure and is able to avoid it and dances his way in.
Isn't that nice to have a quarterback that can do that in your backfield, you know? You don't need to run the play that was designed. You can just have a quarterback that's a good athlete, and he is.
Here we go, Bill. We'll take a look at it. Florence is going to apply some backside pressure. Good coverage, and Cavello is able to turn it into something good, though.
Well, what happens is Florence gets a little greedy, you know. He really wants to stick him, and he leans into the play instead of sitting back, you know, and waiting for him to come back that way. He just gets a little anxious, and you can't fault him for that, you know. He's coming in hard from the outside.
This is the touchdown. Anico's 13th of the year. He has a big hole once again.
Look how low he's running now. Look how low he's running. He's nothing but elbows and shoulders and knees, you know. And when you tackle him, that's what you get, elbows, shoulders, and knees. It's lucky they have face masks on, those defensive players.
Anico with a 6-yard run and a 10-yard run. And it's 14-0.
Can't help but notice a fine offensive play of the Verona offensive line. They're really doing the job.
Wolf from the 6-yard line. And he's across the 20 up to the 23-yard line. Special teams has been much improved for Verona this year. Last year they lost a couple of games because of poor special teams play, and they put a lot of time into it this year, and it's paid some dividends. They have a kickoff return for a score, but also they've not yielded big yardage on special teams, and that special teams has been led by Chris Burns, senior reserve lineman, but a dynamo on the special teams. 1st and 10, ball at the 24. Theobald will take it himself and pick up about 2. Well, I know, Bill, you were talking about that offensive line, and you said after viewing them in practice this week, you were very impressed with particularly the way the guards were able to work for Verona.
They were a pair as fine a blocking, trapping guards especially, as I've seen. They come out, and you can see the fire in their eyes, you know. They come out, they run parallel, and boy, they'll pop you. And they're pretty good size, 185, 2-something. They do a good job, and that's what makes that wing T work so effectively.
On 2nd down, Theobald wants to throw. Now he's going to try to run it, and Ken Jennings brings him down with help from Ron Newman.
A lot of pressure. You know, I know you've heard it a million times. It's an old cliche, you know. Your offensive line wins a ball game for you, you know. And that's what's happening today so far. That offensive line of Verona has done the job, and the offensive line of Immaculate has labored.
Ken Jennings, the best pass rusher on the team, has 3 sacks this year. 3rd and long, trouble with the exchange, and Theobald falls on it back at the 15-yard line, and so he will drop back for his 4th punt